Have you ever had one of those moments where it feels like your emotions are just running the show? Well, today we're diving into a blueprint for self-mastery. We're going to look at how you can take those really intense, reactive feelings and turn them from a source of stress into your absolute greatest source of personal power. So, let's jump right in. And this quote right here, it really gets to the heart of what we're talking about today. If you don't master your emotions, they will master you. It's such a simple truth, but it really sets the stage for this entire journey we're about to go on. So here's the game plan. First, we're going to uncover a hidden power you already have. Then we'll look at the reactive cycle that keeps so many of us feeling stuck. After that, we'll discover this incredible little secret called the space between. That's where all the magic happens. Then we'll build a practical toolkit, and finally, we'll see why being calm is your ultimate superpower. All right, first up, your hidden power. This whole section is about flipping the script on how we think about strong emotions. You know, if you're someone who feels things really deeply, who reacts in a big way, that's not a flaw. No way. It's actually a sign of some incredible untapped potential just waiting to be harnessed. Isn't it fascinating to think that the exact same energy that fuels a quick, fiery reaction is also the source of a powerful will, deep passion, and even natural leadership? It's all just raw power. The goal isn't to get rid of it, not at all. It's to learn how to aim it. And this slide shows that transformation perfectly. On one side, you have that raw, unchecked reaction, exploding, shouting, trying to dominate. But look at the other side. That's what true strength looks like. Staying calm, consciously choosing your response, and being in control of yourself. It's a huge shift from making a lot of external noise to having real internal command. Let's take a word like bossy. It's so easy to just slap that label on someone, but the source material asks us to look a little deeper. So often what looks like bossiness on the surface is actually insecurity trying to look like dominance. Or sometimes it's just a deep-seated fear of not being heard. When you understand the root cause, it changes your whole perspective, doesn't it? So this leads us right into our second section, the reactive cycle. This is where we get into the nitty-gritty of why it can feel almost impossible to break a pattern of emotional outbursts, even when you desperately want to. And here's the real catch. That strong will we were just talking about, that hidden superpower, well, if you don't pair it with self-control, it can actually turn into self-sabotage. Your greatest asset can start working against you, hurting your own goals and your relationships. I have a feeling this four-step loop is going to look pretty familiar. It all starts with a super fast reaction to something that's immediately followed by these really intense, deep feelings. Then you start to feel completely misunderstood, which only makes you double down with a renewed, even stronger defense. And bam, you're right back at the start of the cycle. You know, all of this really boils down to one simple but really powerful question. Are you driving your life, or are your emotions in the driver's seat? Being truly honest with yourself about that, well, that's the first step to grabbing the wheel. So how in the world do you break that cycle? That brings us to section 3. And the secret, the key to everything, is finding this little thing called the space between. It's where you're going to find all your power. This idea is an absolute game changer. Seriously, no matter how quickly something happens, there is always a tiny space between the trigger and your response. It might feel like it's only a millisecond long, but just knowing it exists, that's the key that unlocks everything. So what's in that space? Well, it's the person you are becoming. Every single time you find that space and pause, you get to make a conscious, deliberate choice about who you want to be in the very next moment. It's incredibly powerful. This really highlights the kind of identity shift we're talking about. You can be the one who reacts, totally ruled by the heat of the moment, thinking that being loud is being powerful. Or you can become the one who chooses, the one who shapes the moment, who understands that real power is found in restraint. It's the difference between being a passenger in your own life and being the pilot. Okay, time to get practical. Welcome to Section 4, your self-mastery toolkit. Because, you know, it's not enough to just know the space exists. You need actual tools to help you use it. So think of this as your personal gym for building up that emotional muscle. And the very first tool is so simple, so effective, you can use it anytime, anywhere. It's called the 3-second decision. It's this tiny little micro habit that can literally change the entire outcome of a stressful situation. So here's how it works. It's 3 simple steps. Step 1, pause. Just stop everything. This completely breaks the momentum of that knee-jerk emotional reaction. Step 2, breathe. Take one slow, deep breath. This actually sends a signal to your nervous system to calm down. And then, step 3, decide. Instead of just reacting on impulse, you make a conscious choice about what to do next. That's it. Pause, breathe, decide. Building this kind of self-mastery is just like building any other muscle, right? It takes consistent practice. So here are your daily workouts. First, name your feelings. If you can name it, you can manage it. Second, find your triggers so you can see them coming. Third, choose a power phrase, something simple like, I am in control, that you can say to yourself in that pause. And finally, practice reframing your thoughts. Turn, I always mess this up, into, okay, I made a mistake and I can fix it. And all of that brings us to our final section, where we really cement this new identity. This is where we truly understand why, at the end of the day, calm is your superpower. We're so often told that strength has to be loud and forceful and aggressive. But the blueprint we're looking at here teaches the exact opposite. Real, true strength is calm. It's that steady, solid, unwavering presence right in the middle of a storm. And in the same way, real power isn't about controlling other people or trying to control every situation. Real power is control over yourself, your impulses, your words, your choices. That's the only control you ever truly have, and it's the only one that really matters. And this might be the most important takeaway of all. Look, you can't always control what happens to you, but you can always control how you respond. And right there, in your response, that is where all of your power lies. Let's end on this one last powerful observation. The strongest people in the room are usually the calmest. Just think about that for a second. Think about people you know. Noise and drama might get attention for a minute, but that quiet, calm, composed strength, that's what commands real, lasting respect. It's a quiet power that speaks volumes. So, we'll leave you with this final question from our blueprint. In that little space between what happens and how you respond every single day, you get a new chance to answer this. Who will you choose to become?